Here's something else that's playing out right now. Nationally, is that ICE is starting to arrest more and more Iranian illegal migrants that's inside of the country, and they are deporting them as of right now. Within the past week, it is documented that they've arrested at least over 130 of them, and a lot of it they're saying is because they want to prevent sleeper cells inside of the United States of America. Take a look.
ICE is at the forefront of making sure that we're rounding up all these individuals or attempting to locate the ones that did get in. You have one that with admitted ties to Hezbollah. We also arrested a former sniper from a hostile country who snuck into the United States. So those are the type of individuals we want.
Why are these people here? Why do we have former snipers? Because I would imagine that if you came over here legally, that they would vet that and they would vet your background to be able to determine that that is something that you did. And then obviously you wouldn't be able to get inside of the country. But all of these people just walked over here willy-nilly and had no problems during the Biden administration.
To locate.
So you hear it there. That's Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons talking about the work his agency is doing, trying to find and apprehend Iranian nationals in the U.S., given concerns of potential sleeper cells here. And ICE has been busy. Federal sources telling Fox in the last week alone, ICE has arrested 130 Iranian nationals all across the United States. And ICE currently has 670 Iranian nationals in ICE detention. Now, we talk about some of those people who are detained right now. You just heard Todd Lyons explain some of it. This guy, a former Iranian Army sniper who had his military ID card on him at the time of his arrest. This guy, a former IRGC member with suspected ties to Hezbollah. This man had a gun in his waistband, and ICE says another one of them was a known or suspected terrorist. So they are going out and they're going into overdrive trying to track down these potential threats. For more on this, we want to bring in former Acting ICE Director Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, ICE is really cranking it up when it comes to finding these Iranians. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and Director Lyons and Tom Homan are doing a fantastic job focusing in and getting these people locked up and eventually removed because they see them as a danger. And it does show a drastic change. And unfortunately, it's a change from the previous administration where they seem to put public safety, national security secondary to their open borders agenda. And I think you were reporting earlier there were 1,500 Iranians stopped during the Biden administration, and they let in over half of them. We also know that they let in 99 people that were stopped at the border. This is a Biden administration that were on the terror watch list, and they still let them into the country. So it's a shame that this
here's the question. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they stop them on the border, know that they were on the terrorist watch list? Remember, this is your politicians. These are the people that is supposed to be protecting you. These were the people that were supposed to be holding it down at the border. Kamala Harris, I'm never going to let y'all forget that she was supposedly the border czar. Why would they let people in here that they know is suspecting, even if they suspected them of being this way, why would they let him here inside of the United States of America? I remember when Trump was leaving office and people was feeling some type of way about the fact that they didn't like the fact that he wasn't leaving the way that they wanted him to leave, that he didn't immediately concede over the idea of losing the election, which I personally don't even believe that he lost the election. This is honestly, this is a criminal. These people are criminals, bro. Real talk. I think that these people are criminals. There's no way that you can convince me that they was just doing this because they just wanted to have as many people, because they cared about whether or not other people were seeking asylum from countries that weren't doing as well in the United States of America. I believe these people were criminals. I believe that they are criminal. There's no way that you can tell me that this makes sense in any way, shape, or form. There's no way that you can tell me. So they stopping people that they suspect are terrorists or have some ties to terrorism outside of the United States of America, but they still would let them inside of the United States of America. The Biden administration was suing. Remember that. They were suing Texas to open up their borders and not protect their borders and vet people effectively that is supposed to be here.
Administration, the current one has...
No. Let's be clear. This wasn't just reported on Fox News. This was something that, see, we've been covering this for years. A lot of y'all may be new here. So you may be new to the Millionaire Morning Show, but we've been covering this for years. We've been familiar with all of these different details for years. This isn't just a Fox News thing. This is things that were documented from individual journalists, from unbiased media. These things were even reported on liberal sites. It's not even about Fox News. It's about taking all of the information that you've learned over the years, combine it with what's being reported, and having a conversation about it.
To play cleanup for people that should have never been allowed in to begin with.
Yeah, a lot of work for ICE to do. Definitely want to get your thoughts on this other big story we've been talking about in regards to ICE. I'm sure you've seen it by now. The vice mayor of a city in Southern California, a city called Cudahy, went on social media.
Yeah, we already covered that yesterday. Let me get it from a different perspective. Let's see if we can get it from a different lens.
All right, welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall. A live look at the U.S. Capitol, about 10:45 in the nation's capital, 7:45 out west. Let's cover an interesting story that we heard about today. But over the weekend, ICE agents saying they arrested 11 Iranian foreign nationals in 48 hours. That's according to the Department of Homeland Security. Learning more about this from our partners in Minneapolis, because one of those arrests was made there. Let's get the latest.
You voting for Eric Adams? We're going to talk about that next, Robert.
The Department of Homeland Security says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested 11 Iranian nationals in a 48-hour targeted operation. The arrests spanned multiple states. Here's what we know about the man who was taken into custody in Minnesota. DHS officials say ICE arrested 56-year-old Iranian national Mehran Makari Saheli on Sunday in St. Paul. DHS says he's...
Let me guess, this guy is just a normal guy. He just wants to make a better life for himself and his family. He came over to America to make sure that he works and does the jobs that Americans don't want to do, right?
Former member of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and says he has, quote, admitted connections to Hezbollah, which are U.S. designated foreign terrorist organizations. According to court documents, Saheli was convicted of possessing a fraudulent immigration document in 2009.
No. He's
stemming from
just a
that
good guy.
In 2020, court filings show he faced a federal charge for being a felon in possession of a firearm. DHS says he was later sentenced to 15 months in prison for the weapons charge. Federal officials say in June 2022, an immigration judge ordered Saheli be removed from the United States, but say he remained in the country illegally.
Okay, so
if a judge, an immigration judge, he was arrested, he did time, he had fake documents, he has ties. If an immigration judge then says, hey, you need to get out of the United States of America, why is he still here? An immigration judge says you have to get up out of here. Why is he still here? We don't even enforce the laws that's on our books.
As they mentioned, 11 total arrested. We've got pictures of 10 of them here via the New York Post standing by.
Look at all of these fine gentlemen and one lady. Look at all of these great guys. Hey, listen, this is the fabric of New York. I bet you they're hanging out in New York. I guarantee you they're hanging out in New York. You know why? Because New York is, well, I'll get to that in a second. But look at all of these fine young men and one young lady. Do these people look like people that you are interested in being your neighbors?
We want to welcome in Michael Balboni,
like
the former New York Homeland Security Advisor.
I hear you, Black.
I got to ask you, when we look at pictures of these 10 people, Michael, are these people affiliated with those so-called sleeper cells that we've been hearing so much about? Is this sleeper cell activity or not? What do we know?
What we know is that over the last couple of years, we've had almost over 10 million individuals come to this country, and we don't know who they are, where they are, what their intentions are. That's really what has changed the landscape of this nation's security.
Many countries
and we see it right now.
Everywhere.
You know, this follows a traditional pattern. Whenever there's conflict in the Middle East, it spans out to other parts of the world. And of course, with Iran having been attacked by the United States to take out their nuclear facilities, this has ratcheted up the rhetoric at the very least. But we also know that there's really good intel that says there's a great capability in country right now. Should the either Iranian affiliated individuals or folks that want to do things on their own, rogue individuals, and certainly from a cybersecurity perspective, the security forces in the United States are really on high alert for a domestic incident.
Have y'all seen the videos on Instagram and different platforms of people going in people's houses or their former houses after they've been arrested and deported from the United States of America, and they say, man, they left behind all of their jewelry, all of their cars, all of this, all of that. Have y'all seen any of that? I don't know if I can find any of those videos, but y'all should go and check out some of those videos. I don't know how true they are, because it could be a finesse. It could 100% be a finesse, because the first thing that I was thinking to myself is, well, how did you know? Was you there when they got arrested? Tensions rise at a Jim Gordon. You can. I should have saved some of those videos. I should have saved some of those videos. But there are some videos out there. Now, I'm going to talk about the NY mayor next. There are some videos out there of people that are saying, oh, man, look, this is the jewelry that she left. This is the stuff. It's out there. It is out there. It is 100% out there. How do they deal with that? Do the federal government take their house back or their stuff, their cars or whatever? You're not surprised, Yasmin? The one I saw was a roommate. D-Staff says they keep everything. It's happening though. They selling cars for the low. Yeah, I seen one guy. Whoever cleaned those houses got the loot. They might have been the ones that called ICE. What happens to your debt when you get deported? It just stay there. I've also seen people, I've also seen a lot of people that are saying that they're looking to run away from their debts by moving out of the United States of America. Have y'all heard that also? Have y'all heard anything about that? Teresa says, let me address this real quick. This should be interesting. Teresa says, damn, I don't even want to, I can't highlight you, Teresa. I'm sorry. I was just about to show you a comment, Teresa, but you don't have a profile photo. I'm sorry. It's just the new rule that I have to enforce for myself. Doesn't mean that you can't talk. Doesn't mean that you're not awesome. But if you don't have a profile photo, you could be a little boy. You could be a little boy. Or you could be in prison, like the person that I was talking about earlier.